Hey, welcome. So here we are going to get into beginning to solve equations, which is getting at the heart of algebra, problem solving, right? So what we have is solving a single step equation, and we see this x plus 5 is equal to 13. Well, let's think about what that means, because it helps to understand solving equations when you understand what you're actually doing. So if I'm interpreting this equation, what I have here is some unknown number. There's something I don't know, plus 5, so there's 5 being added to it, equals, or turns into, 13. So my whole goal in solving equations, however, is I want to know, well, what is the unknown number? There's something I want to solve for, something I want to figure out. Algebra at its very heart is a problem-solving tool. So when I'm working with this equation, I'm going to rewrite it here, x plus 5 equals 13. I want to figure out, well, what is that unknown number? Well, in the algebraic sense, we can use our ability to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and use this idea of equality and keeping things equal to help us rearrange that. So my goal is to isolate the variable. I want to know what is that unknown number. So I'm going to put x down there because that's what I want to get to. The unknown number should equal, boom, this, and I'll solve it out. So to go from x plus 5 to x, I need to undo this plus 5. I don't want some number plus 5, I just want to know the number. So I need to look at, well, mathematically, how do I get rid of plus 5? I need to do the opposite. I need to subtract 5. So let's write that down. I'm going to subtract 5. So now we have on the left side of the equation, now we have x plus 5 and subtract 5. Well, now you're probably saying, hey, on a minute, I just can't subtract 5 from a side, and you're right, I can't. I have to keep things equal. So if I'm making this left side decreased by 5, I need to make the right side of the equation decrease by 5. As long as I do the same thing to both sides, I'm okay. I've still kept everything equal. I haven't changed anything. So on the right side now, I have 13 minus 5. Okay, so I've done the same thing to both sides. Let's actually solve this thing out now. What does 5 minus 5 turn into? Well, it turns into 0. So now I have x plus 0 equals 13 minus 5 equals 8. Well, an x plus 0 is nice because it just equals x, and we see that x should equal 8. That would be the solution to my original equation. Now, this seems like a really easy problem. We can kind of figure out some number plus 5 equals 13. You probably figured out already like 5 minutes ago that it was 8. But this is, again, starting the building blocks of being able to work with more complicated equations. One thing I'd always encourage you to do as well too is to check your work. Put the solution in for x. We'll substitute it in. Does 8 plus 5, does that equal 13? Yes. So my solution checks out, and we solved a single step equation that involved addition. And there was a plus 5, so we saw we had to subtract 5 from both sides.